Hello, it's Kathy, back on a Monday evening, talking about some stuff on habits. So I wanted to start first talking about just kind of how you identify kind of your habits and that kind of thing, and then I'll move into some ways to help to change habits if that's what you want. I'm Kathy, a life coach, and I enjoy kind of giving information on this group or in this group and with other people. So if you know anyone that might benefit from this information, have them join our group. So I'm, really interested in helping everyone to be able to have kind of some new ideas about things that they can do differently or how they feel about things and that kind of thing. So so if you find benefit from the information that I'm talking about tonight and think anyone else might have benefit, have them join the group so they can get in on this information. So when you think about kind of habits or changing habits, think about kind of what that brings up for you initially. So some people have this feeling that, oh, I'm really bad at changing habits, or I've tried, many times to do something differently, or I want to do something differently and I need ideas about how to do that. So that's kind of what this next 6 weeks will be about, is how you can identify habits, identify things that you want to change, and figuring out how to actually do that. So if you think about maybe something specific today that you really would like to change or do differently or add. So maybe you want to read more books and you want to figure out a way to have time to do that, or how to fit that into your schedule. Or maybe you want to walk more, exercise more, and how do you fit that into your schedule? Or maybe you just want to do nothing and not have a bunch of things on your schedule all the time, and how to trim your schedule. So those are kind of 3 different scenarios, I would say, of things, kind of habits of things that you might want to look at. So, over the next week, maybe think about that. Think about, what is it that I want to change or add or do differently, and how can I do that over this next month or so, as I give you more tools and ideas about ways to change or do things differently. So this week, maybe if you want to add something as a new habit, the first thing you have to do is figure out the habits that you're currently doing. So you want to, maybe for a couple of days, pay attention to what is it that you already do. You already get up in the morning. You already go to sleep in the evening or go to bed at night. So those are 2 habits that you probably have every single day. And if you want to kind of add something else onto those, maybe tag them to those 2 habits. Maybe you want to read more, and whether you want to try to add it to your morning or add it to before you go to bed would be up to you. When is a good time to add that? So that's kind of called habit stacking, where you realize things that you already do every single day, and you just add something onto that you already do that would help you to get into a new habit because it's something you already do. Say you want to, floss your teeth more, and you really do brush your teeth every day. So you start to build in the habit of flossing right before you brush or right after you brush every time you do that. So that adds that habit onto something that you already do. So maybe for the next 3 days, pay attention to, when you get up in the morning, what are things that you automatically do that you don't really think about? You take your shower, you know, whatever your habits are for the morning. And then maybe you're get your kids ready, or you know, go to work, or, you know, whatever your habit is. What's the next thing that you do? Do you get your coffee ready? And maybe you want to do something that is really short that you could set right next to where you make your coffee. You know, maybe you want to read a Bible verse, or, you know, something that doesn't take 30 minutes. And you can just put that right next to where you put your coffee, and that helps to build that habit into what you already do. So maybe for the next, you know, day or week or whatever, however long you want to think about that, look at what it is that you already do, and how you can incorporate your new habit into what you want to do. Or if you want to try to take something away, you know, say you want to change your diet or something like that, and not eat, I don't know, as much chocolate, something like that, then you have to be more mindful about when you're doing that, and what leads up to that habit or that thing. So say you eat chocolate every time you're stressed about something, or every time you think about something. And the only way to figure that out is to really be mindful about what it is what that habit is, and what leads up to that habit. So say you eat chocolate after you argue with one of your kids, or as soon as you get home from work or school, or the end of your day, you really need more energy or something, so you eat some candy, or you have a bagel, or, you know, something to try to give yourself energy. So you know, think about those things and what causes that habit, and then over time maybe figure out other things besides that thing that gives you the same benefit. So say you're really tired at the end of the day, you know, when you get home from work or school, or when your kids come home and you just don't have the energy to do those kinds of things, then maybe find something that gives you more energy right before you have that responsibility. So say you drive home from work, or your kids are on their way home, and you know a specific time that they're going to be there. What can you do to give you the energy to take care of whatever that thing? So, you know, pay attention maybe to what you're eating for lunch, or maybe you need a specific snack in the afternoon that gives you the energy, or maybe you need to take a walk right before they come home so that you have the energy to take care of your kids. Or maybe after work you need to sit in your car for 5 minutes to give yourself time to unwind and let go of whatever it is that you dealt with at work, so that doesn't sap your energy thinking about that constantly in the evening when you get home. So it's kind of figuring out ways that you can have the energy to do the things that you want to do, and also maybe adding in some things that you know, exercising more or changing your diet and all of those things. All of those are habits that you can work on over time. So first of all, you want to identify the habits that you have. Figure out, do you have a habit or something that you would like to add, or something that you want to take away that you're currently doing, and kind of do a habit stacking kind of thing, where the first thing you do when you get home, you set your purse down or put your stuff a certain place. Maybe you have your tennis shoes right next to where those are, and you put those on to go take a walk before you do anything else. You know, so kind of figuring out those kinds of things. And if, you know, tiny little things, maybe you take a walk for 5 minutes, and eventually you want to work up to 30 minutes, or, you know, other things like that. 1% change can lead up to, I think a statistic that I read was that over a year, that is a 37% change. So if you think about just doing a 1% difference a day, leads up to 37% over a year. I mean, that's a pretty big number, almost 40% change over a year. So you want to think about that and have kind of this long-term look at this thing that you want to do, as opposed to tomorrow I want to lose 100 pounds, or, you know, whatever, or read 5 books this week, or, you know, it's just not realistic to think about it that way. So maybe tomorrow you walk for 5 minutes, or you read 2 pages in a book, and over time that builds up to being much more. When you look at it, you know, in 6 months, maybe you've read 20 books, as opposed to last year you only read 1 the entire time. So I think that those are the kinds of things you want to look at, you know, kind of document for yourself what it is that you're able to do, and build on that over time. So a couple of things to think about this week. What are the habits that you do every single day? You know, you get up in the morning, kind of what are the habits of things that you do? Maybe you're getting your kids ready and you leave your house at a certain time. Maybe you go to work and you do that at a certain time, and you eat your lunch at a certain time. You know, you want to think about kind of paying attention, be open and mindful about what it is that you do automatically. You know, for me, I drive to my job every single day, and not too long ago I switched to a different location. And the first couple of weeks, I was constantly telling myself, hey, don't forget you have to get off at an earlier exit off the highway, so that I didn't just drive by it out of habit, because for 20 years I didn't stop at that exit. So it's those kinds of things. You know, some things your brain just does things automatically because you've done it like that for a long time. So it just takes some extra effort to think about it and change kind of what you're doing, and figuring out what's important enough to be able to add that in, or leave something off of your schedule that you're already doing, and figuring out how to kind of do that every single day, or once a week, or, you know, whatever it is that you want to change or do or add. And everybody's individual. So it's hard for me, you know, in a setting like this, to help everyone specifically what it is that they want. If you need more help with that, that's what my coaching is about. You know, my coaching helps people to figure out those habits that they want to make, and gives individual kind of advice about that, or individual coaching to help you figure out what it is you specifically want. So, you know, if you want individual help, I have openings for my coaching. Otherwise, I'll keep doing these for the next 6 weeks. Each evening about this time every Monday, I'll come on and talk a little bit more about habit change and how you can make some changes in habits. And I'll give you specific things that you could do, you know, that week. So this week, you know, pay attention to what habits you have, and maybe think about one thing that you want to add to a habit that you already do, kind of a habit stacking kind of thing. So, you know, think about that this week. And, you know, if you come up with something, or you have any ahas, or, you know, something that you enjoyed about this, let's, you know, get a discussion going in the comments, and I'll be happy to talk about anything that anybody has questions about, or if you have an idea of something that you want to do differently and maybe need some assistance with a couple of things, I'm willing and able to do that in the comments too. So let's get a discussion going, kind of how some things maybe that we want to change over the next month or so, and how we can do that for the next month. And just let me know if anybody's interested in talking about what my coaching is, and how I can help you individually come up with kind of tools and ideas about what it is that you want to change or do differently, I'm help and can do that too. So okay, I'll see you again next week.